Ole Miss fans need a hotel for the game weekend? Many OTAs keep all the commissions, but at Fan Plans, you still get your loyalty points, receive direct confirmation from the hotel, and you support Rebel Grove. Visit fanplans.com/Rebel Grove today.
Welcome into another edition of the Troy Brown Show, presented by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. I'm Neil McCready. That is Ole Miss linebacker Troy Brown. Back from Atlanta, the Rebels win 42-0 at Georgia Tech. They're now 3-0 in the country, number 16. 3-0 their record is 3-0. They're number 16 nationally in the latest AP Top 25. They will play Tulsa this Saturday, 3 p.m. at Vaught Hemingway Stadium. That game can be seen if you're not making the trip to Oxford on the SEC network. We're brought to you each and every week by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. It's different names, but it's the same great products. It's the same great people. And most importantly, it's the same great service. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, DeSoto County, Olive Branch, South Haven, those kinds of places, call the people at Southern, and they'll take care of you. 662-429-4429. Troy, how are you?
I'm good. How about you, man?
I'm good. I know you were super excited to get to Atlanta and play on ABC, and your family could see you play and all of that stuff. And they did get to see you play, probably not quite as much as you were hoping for. Frankly, I thought through no fault of your own. I'm curious to get your perspective and thoughts and things on the targeting call that got you disqualified kind of late in the second quarter in a game that, to be honest, you weren't going to play a whole lot more in it anyway. They were going to get you off the field probably fairly quickly in the third quarter. But so you missed a little bit of time. But take me through the play, your remembrance of it, your thoughts of it as it was happening, and we'll go from there.
We were in a coverage where we all just drop back, play deep and short, let anything stay in front of it because they were behind the change pretty much. So I was just breaking on the ball, breaking on what I saw because I knew once one crossed my face, another one was going to come. I didn't necessarily – I've got the history of getting targeting calls, so I literally tried to avoid any head area I could or – just not use my head at all. So I try to lead in with my shoulder, but no matter if it was head or not, but they told me that he was a defensive player. So that's where the targeting comes into play.
He appeared to kind of slip, though, right? To kind of fall. And it looked like you were literally maneuvering your body to make sure that it was your shoulder and not your head.
I mean, to me, it felt that way, but I guess they saw it a different way.
As a defensive player, what are your thoughts on the whole, like you said, you've gotten hit for targeting a few times. You're taught to be aggressive. You're taught to be physical. You understand, I'm assuming, that, yeah, we want to take the head-to-head stuff out of the game. We want to protect people. We don't want people to get injured. But at the same time, it sometimes seems like it's a little confusing. I'm curious, as a linebacker playing a game that is going really fast, how much do you even – is that stuff on your mind during the game, or do you just have to play, and how frustrating is it when that happens?
That makes you less aggressive. I play fast, furious, with no regret. So whatever I'm going out there and I feel like I'm doing, I'm not going to second guess it by trying to move my head or change. And just do stuff like that. Like it all happens in a moment. Of course, I'm not trying to, do those type of blows to injure my head. Nobody wants to just hit with their head. But at the same time, when runners are running the ball and they want to truck or run over people, they duck their head. They use the crown of their head. No matter if they feel like they're lowering their pads, anything, but they duck their head and they use the crown of their head. So it's not considered targeting on their part. So that's where I feel like it's a lose-lose situation.
I'm sure you're glad that if it happened in the second quarter and not the third, because you're ready to go when Tulsa gets to town. Is there any benefit at all from your snaps getting somewhat limited, keep you a little fresher, healthier as you head into the second quarter of the season here with Tulsa and then SEC play right around the corner? Or am I just sort of searching here?
In my mind, there's not. I feel like any time that I can be out on the field affecting the game, that I will want to be out there. I don't feel like there's any situation that would benefit from me not being in the game. I don't care if we're up 50-0 or we're down 50-0. So I don't know. I was angry.
I don't blame you. It again, it looked like you were making every effort to not commit the foul. So I don't know. To me, I'm one of those people that I don't mind the targeting penalties, but I would like for there to be some degree of intent and some common sense that's taken into it. If a guy's launching and leading with his head, well, then obviously, but if he's making obvious efforts to not do that, I'd like for common sense to kick in. I know Kari Coleman went out with what appeared to be an injury. Any kind of an update from you on him? Is he okay?
Yeah, just a minor tweak. He was kind of frustrated from that. We just felt that it was better for him to not, go back in and risk it. Like we said, by the time that happened, and we were up like 21-0, so we felt pretty confident in the team that they could finish without him being in the game. So we just wanted to be precautious on that. Nothing really too bad. We're hoping.
Obviously, it's a good thing to build depth. You don't want to build it the way you guys built it with somebody getting dinged up and you getting eliminated because of the targeting call. But depth is depth, and some of the young guys obviously were forced into playing more snaps than they've been playing. What'd you think of those guys?
Definitely. I feel like they went out there and they held the standard. No matter what group was out there, they finished the game and they ended with 0 points. So that was our goal, and now I owe everybody donuts.
I know a shutout always feels good on defense. You guys now held the team to a field goal, and now you've thrown a shutout in back-to-back weeks. I'm guessing from just a confidence standpoint, not just you guys feel pretty good. Like you feel like you're emerging as a potentially elite defense. I'm assuming just watching body language on the field, you guys are playing with a lot of swagger, a lot of confidence, a lot of physicality. Probably starting to feel like you're establishing an identity, but I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Nah, you're exactly right. And we're feeling it when we're on the field together. We're all just flying around, trying to have fun, trying to feed off each other's energy. When the D line make a play, it's like the DBs go right and make the next play, and then the linebackers go back and make the next play. So we're all just feeding off each other's energy and playing within the defense, and it's all fun and it's showing up on film.
So you guys get Tulsa coming in this week. They had a pretty successful game against Jacksonville State. They've scored points throughout the season. A quarterback who can throw the ball down the field. They're a little more wide open probably than what you guys have seen so far from Troy and Central Arkansas and obviously Georgia Tech. Then after that, you've got Will Levis in Kentucky, and so you're about to play some more wide open teams. Is that something you're looking forward to? Is that exciting, knowing that teams are going to try to attack a little bit, or just kind of what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I hope they think I'm the weak link out there on the edge and stuff with the speed. So I'm just ready to see how they try to attack us, and I'm ready to see what we do. You know what I mean?
What was the trip like in terms of this team building camaraderie? You guys, were in a hotel in Atlanta, and you had the day to spend together and all that stuff. A lot of times, teams over the course of a season either see camaraderie get built or they see it sort of dissipate over the course of a year. What was Saturday? What was the weekend like for you guys in Atlanta?
It was all jokes and funs and laughs, man. It was a great time for us. But at the same time, it was a business trip. For the most part, we tried to stay, level-headed and focused on the mission and what we're there for. But at the same time, we're young men. We're all young, just having fun and ready to chill with each other and just build an experience. So it was a good time. You know what I mean?
So Mason Brooks was telling me that the field was different, though, like literally the texture of the field. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, if you could notice or if you see like people use spat like when our teammates spatted a lot, like their spat is white, but during the game it ended up very brown. So the brown stuff is what they said was coconut shells, and they had it all over the field. And I'm like, this is very dumb, but whatever.
Yeah, it was he was telling me about it. It sounds kind of crazy. As hot as it was on that field, you guys have built a lot of depth defensively, which I know you weren't here a couple of years ago, but a couple of years ago there was no depth on defense. I mean, guys were playing 90 snaps and stuff like that. To see that the kind of depth that you guys have built, the ability to get offenses off the field, I'm guessing you guys feel pretty fresh as a group compared to what you would feel like if everybody was out there playing 90 snaps a game, 3 games in a row. You guys aren't doing that. I mean, you're heading into getting closer to October with snap counts kind of down, and I mean that in a good way.
Yeah, well, that plays hand in hand with the offense being on the field. For as quick as they are, when they score, when they want to go fast, they can go fast, and it'll get us out there on the field. And more snaps accumulate that way, or more snaps could accumulate with us just not getting off the field as a defense. So it's just a lot of gives and give backs with the game, but the depth does control our legs, and it gives us, a lot of energy to reserve, I guess.
Last thing before we get into picks in the MAC, I want to ask a MAC question. You've played in the MAC all those years where you're not really in the national eye, right? I mean, it's you're playing. I know you had a great experience and made a lot of friends and all of those things. How much fun is it for you to be playing on a team that's nationally ranked? People are starting to talk about you. People are starting to notice you. There's this conversation that happens that's quite natural, really, in the media that they're like, who's the third best team in the SEC? And I know you would contend that, hey, we're not conceding number one or number two just yet. But people say, hey, it's obviously Georgia and Alabama, and look at what they've done. But who's the third team? And you guys are right in the heart of that conversation right now. How fun is it for you to suddenly be playing on a team in a season where you're really relevant?
It's really awesome, because then that means that I'm boasted out there a little bit more. So the things that I could do to help this team and the things that the team could do to help me, it all goes hand in hand, and I'm just all for it. But more so likely, I'm all for my teammates. I'm ready to see them shine. I'm ready to see them make plays. It's just, even though I had to sit, I got to see those guys go out there and make those plays, like young MJ getting some time and making, TFLs like back to back, and just seeing JJ Hawkins get his first sack. It was just amazing to see. So I'm more so in seeing the success of everybody else around me. So I like that we're getting attention because they get attention, and I get the attention too.
Yeah, I saw in the fourth quarter somebody had to be like, "Hey, calm down," and you were giving it back to somebody on the Georgia Tech team that had come over to the sideline, apparently talking. So, I thought that showed a lot about you as a team player, really.
Man, I appreciate it. I was just trying to get the guys hyped, man.
All right, Troy. Neither of us had great weeks in our picks. We both went 3-3. We both treaded water. So we head into week 4 of our little competition here. I'm still 2 games ahead of you. I'm 11-7 picking MAC games. You're 9-9. So I've pulled out a few because there's a lot of games. But I've pulled out a few of interest, maybe that would be of some interest to our listeners as well. We'll start with your old team, Central Michigan. They head to Penn State. Nittany Lions just beat Auburn in Auburn. Central Michigan, Troy's a 25.5-point underdog headed to Happy Valley. What do you think? Too many points or?
Too many points. It's too many points. It's way too many points. It's not 25. I know that. They didn't have the best game against South Alabama, but the morale just probably picked back up after this win. So I feel like they're gonna keep it close.
All right, I'm gonna gamble that you are hedging emotionally, and I'm going to take take Penn State here and maybe get an opportunity to gain a game on you. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Eastern Michigan, who I think you're sort of like Switzerland on Eastern Michigan. You hate Western Michigan. Eastern Michigan's just sort of there. Eastern Michigan goes to Arizona State Saturday and gets a big win. Eastern Michigan gets paid $1.5 million to make the trip, and they hand Arizona State a loss. I'm guessing that was a pretty happy flight back to, is it Mount Pleasant? Is that where that is?
Eastern is Ypsilanti.
Okay, Eastern Ypsilanti. Okay. Regardless, pretty happy flight back to Michigan.
Yes.
They head into MAC play this week. They play host to Buffalo. Buffalo makes the trip. Buffalo's a 5.5-point underdog.
Yes. Yes.
Which one? Do you go on Eastern Michigan or Buffalo?
I'm going Eastern Michigan.
Okay, I am too. So we're both going to take Eastern Michigan, lay the points. Miami of Ohio, who played Cincinnati really well in the Bengal Stadium on Saturday before losing. They head to Evanston, Illinois to play Northwestern out of the Big Ten. Miami's a 6-point underdog at Northwestern.
I don't think they're going to play that good.
You're going Northwestern to lay in the points?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take Northwestern as well. All right, here's one of these big numbers. Kent State heads to Georgia to play the top-ranked Bulldogs. Kent State getting 42.5 points. Is that enough? I'm with you. I'm laying them. I didn't know whether I'd set the trap there and you'd fall into it and do the Mac Pride thing. Yeah, I'm laying the points. Georgia looks like a beast right now. All right, let's see. Ball State heads to Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern, not far removed from that win at Nebraska. They played well against UAB before losing Saturday. Georgia Southern is a 9-point favorite over Ball State.
I'm taking Ball State.
All right. Troy's going to take Ball State. I'll take Georgia Southern. Leave that open. And then Bowling Green, they head to Mississippi. They head to Mississippi State. They'll play the Bulldogs in Starkville on Saturday morning, I believe. That's an 11 a.m. game. Bowling Green, Troy, is a 29-point underdog in Starkville. So see, I'm setting another trap because I'm doing a MAC team against your new rival. Like you're supposed to. You probably are going to, by the end of the year, will have a healthy dislike for Mississippi State. So I'm testing here.
I'm taking Eastern Michigan with the
Bowling Green. You mean you're gonna take Bowling Green on the points?
Yep. Right.
All right. Troy's gonna take. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who did they just play? They just beat somebody, didn't they?
Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green just beat. Who beat Texas A&M?
Oh, that was Appalachian State. Appalachian State, and then Appalachian State turned around and beat Troy yesterday. Did you see the end of that game?
Yeah, man, I saw the last catch. That was crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
Man, I'm like, it's 2 seconds. Seconds changed it.
Wow, what a day for App State. They get game day on their campus, and then they're about to lose to Troy. It's about to just all go south, and then a Hail Mary, and the ball gets tipped, and the receiver catches it, and the guy's right there to make a block. And have you heard the Appalachian State radio call?
Oh.
You got to go find it. At some point today when you get a free minute, find it. It is hilarious. They go from speaking English to just this screaming. And you have – if you're driving down the road listening to the game, you can't see it. All that you hear is the quarterback throws the ball. It's a deep, high throw, and then you just hear screaming. And finally, 3 or 4 seconds into the screaming, you kind of hear what appears to sound like a wild animal yelling the word touchdown. That's kind of sounds like a touchdown, but I'm not sure that if I didn't know already and I heard that I would know they said touchdown. And so I can just envision like some old man driving down the road, listening to the game on his FM radio going, what happened? What happened? He had to wonder if for just a minute there'd been like an attack in the press box or something. I mean, it's unintelligible for like 5 seconds. It's hilarious. You need to go listen to it. It's frankly what college football sounds like. You know what I mean? It's what makes people love college football is that it is still really unpredictable a lot, and crazy stuff happens, and it's so emotional, and it's nuts because the guy, he's the perfect play-by-play guy. He says he rolls to the right, steps up into the pocket, sets his feet and unloads. It's a high pass, and then you just hear chaos. It's really fun. All right, so you got Troy. I'm sorry, you've got Bowling Green. You know what? I'm gonna take Mississippi State on this one. So we've got some differences on our picks this week. We'll come back and revisit that next week and see who won, who lost, and far more importantly, we'll be looking forward to your first SEC game. Ole Miss and Kentucky, a little over a week away. So we'll be talking about that next week when Troy and I reconvene. So again, a reminder, we're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great products and services. If you live in Oxford, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, Olive Branch, that area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. Anything else from you, Troy, before we go?
No, sir.
All right, we'll wrap it up there. Let Troy get back to work. For Troy Brown, I'm Neil McCready. That does it for this edition of the Troy Brown Show. We'll be back next week with another one. Until then, have a great week. Take care.